not going to win because we are doing exactly the opposite. We're bringing our people.
They're Bernie Sanders.
We are bringing our people together. Black, white, Latino, an agenda that works for the working people of this country.
You are the 1%, Bernie.
All over this country.
We can all live in squalor while he lives in a golden palace when he's president. He's not going to be president. He's not going to beat Trump. He's going to fold like a cheap deck of cards like he did Hillary Clinton.
The federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. We're going to provide equal pay for equal work for women.
We do get equal pay, dummy.
We are going to make it easier for workers to join unions.
Ooh, there already are unions, stupid.
We're going to create millions of good-paying union jobs by building our crumbling infrastructure.
No, you're not.
And building the 10 million units of low-income and affordable housing this country desperately needs.
No, you're not. Obama didn't do that.
We're going to win this election because we believe in education.
Education. He never worked a day in his life.
We are going to have high-quality, affordable, universal child care.
No.
We are going to triple funding for low-income Title I.
There won't be any children to have because they're going to outlaw people having kids.
And we need great teachers in this country.
They're not going to be great teachers.
We need more Latino teachers.
Huh? No, that's not racist, right?
African American teachers.
Yeah, get rid of white people, Bernie.
The vitally important work that teachers do, we're going to fight to make sure that no teacher in America earns less than $60,000.
Huh? It's not going to work, you dummy. He's going to create all the jobs. You give it free stuff.
Because we believe in education, we believe that all of our people, regardless of their income, are entitled to a higher education.
What are you going to do with all the homeless, you dummy? You're not going to create affordable housing. There wasn't any created under Obama.
Public colleges and universities tuition free.
Who is free?
All student debt in this country. Why imposing a modest tax on
He's such a liar.
Speculation?
And he's going to put people who don't agree with him in gulags.
12 years ago, we bailed out the crooks on Wall Street. Now it is their turn to help.
Yeah, Obama bailed out all the car companies. And all the banks, too.
This is placed. The Ukrainian government did this for political.
Sorry, I don't want to hear any more of what he has to say. It's basically saying he wants less white people working and more everybody else working and white people being pushed out. Basically, he wants to push white people out of work. That's what he's saying in his speech. He doesn't want white people having jobs. And he wants more unions, and he wants to pay teachers $60,000 a year. But he didn't say anything about white teachers. He just said other races of people. So it's all about race politics. It's all about race. Sickening. So that's the headlines today. He wins Nevada, right? Yeah, he thinks he's going to be president. He's not going to be president. They're going to steal all his delegates. like Hillary did last time in 2016. She saw all his delegates, and she threatened him, and he submitted and gave all the delegates away. So it's crap. So he's an idiot. He's not going to get the nomination. It'll be Elizabeth Warren or that Bloomberg guy because he's already bought his way up to the top. Because the DNC, is controlled by corporate uh, businesses. Those are all their donors. They're not going to bankrupt them. They're not going to do it and make them pay all the taxes and all that, pay for everything, pay for all this free stuff that Bernie's going to promise $15 an hour. He's not going to do that. No one's going to create any affordable housing because no one's going to want to work. No one's going to do anything. No one's going to pull the wagon. Just be a bunch of people sitting in the wagon. So Bernie's not going to get it. He's too radical even for the leftists. They're not going to give up their luxury items for him because he's not going to give up his when he's president, if he is ever president, because he'll be living in a golden palace away from everybody else while everyone else is stuck living in. He's talking about affordable housing. He's actually talking about communist housing, stacked housing, which I live in. I live in stacked housing. And that's what Bernie's saying. Affordable housing. That's what he means. $15 an hour. Look what happened in Washington. $15 an hour. You know what it did? It put these businesses out of business because they couldn't afford it. And where I work, they can't give you more than 40 hours a week. Because if they do, they have to provide insurance. And they would go out of business if they had to provide insurance for all the employees. They wouldn't turn much of a profit. So Bernie wants to put people out of business, is what he's saying, by $15 an hour. It's not going to work. These small businesses are going to go under. If he implements that all over the country, it's not going to work. So he's stupid. He's a stupid, foolish man. And he looks like he's getting ready to die because he's too old. He should just drop out of the race and let Elizabeth Warren or stinking Bloomberg take the nomination, and they're just going to get squashed by Donald Trump. And so is Bernie. He's going to get squashed too. We're not going to put up with it because Bernie's going to take the guns away. He's going to do all the same things, and he's going to make us all wait in bread lines. He's insane. And he's not going to force me into communist housing and disarm me too. He's not going to do that. Take away my Second and First Amendment right that we're not allowed to bear arms or speak out against the government. And he wants to pay these teachers $60,000 a year. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. He's insane, and he's trying to say, "Oh, I want more Latino and Black teachers." That's stupid. It should be equal. There shouldn't be more or less of anything. He should be fair, but he's not, because he wants to push white America out and push the other countries in, and they're going to take all the jobs, and there won't be anyone working anyway, because it's all going to be automated. Anyone that goes against the machine is going to be put in gulags and killed. You're not going to be able to escape up in the woods because they'll find you and kill you. That's what Bernie's going to do. You're not going to be able to escape, and it doesn't matter how much you prep and try to save up and try to get out of the city and try to hide from them. You're not going to hide from the communists. They'll find you, and they're going to force you into the communist housing and re-educate you and make you do what they say. So enough with Bernie. He's not even anything to worry about because he's not going to get the nomination. It'll probably be either Elizabeth Warren or Michael Bloomberg because they're less radical and it's more what the DNC prefers is them, because they'll toe the line and do what they say, and the corporate companies and all that will be able to control them with money, and they'll do whatever they're told, and they'll ignore any violations because they need the money, because they want that donor money, and they'll act like they care about the environment, but they don't. And we're so regulated anyway by the EPA that these corporations aren't violating any EPA regulations to begin with. We are the most regulated country in the whole world. So the left are stupid. So, oh, did you hear that they in Japan they let these passengers onto the airplane, on an international airplane to fly back to America, and they have coronavirus? And they said the president's angry because it puts other people at risk in this country, and we're trying to contain it, and bringing more people in here that are sick, or not, maybe not even sick, but they're carrying the virus. Bringing it in here is not a smart idea. But I think it's a retaliation because of the thing that's going on in China with all their people being sick, and it's people aren't not wanting to order stuff from China because they're afraid it's gonna have a virus on it. But anyways, I'm gonna get off that subject because it's a whole other thing that other people already talk about, all these subjects. But the other subject I want to talk about was this morning when I was gonna take my laundry out, and I did carry it out because my boyfriend's sick, so he can't do laundry. So I was taking the laundry and put it in my car, and as I'm doing that, going back and forth, putting the baskets and the bags inside the car and the soap and all that, this guy walked in front of my car. I don't even know who he was, and he asked me if he's all, "Is that your car?" And I said, "Yeah, why are you asking if that's my car?" And he goes, "Nothing, I'm just asking if it's your car." And then he walks off, and then he gets in his car that's parked behind my car, and he's smoking a cigarette. He's got the door hanging open. He's just sitting there. So I called my boyfriend to come up the stairs to go find out what the problem was. And the guy was just acting like he didn't do anything. He was just staring at his phone, like he didn't say anything to me. But I mean, what can you do, right? But it freaked me out because I thought that he was gonna do something to my car or something. I don't know, like he was mad or something. And it turns out he's the boyfriend, I guess, of the upstairs neighbor, some new boyfriend that's really weird. Because I've been hearing some weird noises coming from upstairs in the last couple of days. Besides all the urine dripping down from the bathroom, I've heard a bunch of noises. So not only that, we have to absorb all their urine, right? Coming from the bathroom. But it's like that, and on top of the all the bad news coming through the news, this stupid Bernie idiot, and all these people that believe in this dummy named Bernie Sanders who wants to bring communism to this country and make us lose our rights and all that. It's absolutely disgusting and infuriating, and it makes you just want to pull your hair out. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I don't really have much else to say. It's just it's kind of a dull stream. That's why I erased the other one. It was kind of stiff. But I thought I'd include that Bernie clip. I mean, he said some pretty racist things in his speech, basically saying he wants more non-white people in high positions and white people basically pushed out, is what he's saying. And to me, that's makes me feel uncomfortable and weird because my boyfriend already has a hard enough time finding, in the past, he's had a hard enough time finding work. And that's just going to make it that much tougher to find work because of that's the protocol that Bernie Sanders wants. It's not going to work. There's not going to be any jobs anyway for them to pick and choose anyway, because people like me are going to we're going to go up into the woods and we're going to hide out from them, kind of like Red Dawn, the movie. We're going to go out in the woods and we're going to live and build our own cabins, and we're going to be fully armed because we're not going to give up our guns to Bernie Sanders' communist government. And they're going to have to take our guns from our cold, dead hands, right? And he's not going to be president because capitalism is the leader in this country. And even the leftists have to agree there has to be some form of capitalism. Otherwise, we don't have the technology we have without capitalism. Someone's got to be a capitalist. There's got to be capitalists for things to work. But see, I'm looking at Bernie Sanders right now, crazy old Jew. Well, JW. But he claims to not be whatever, a practicing Jew or whatever. But he's endowed to the whole thing. He's doing what he's told. He's a communist. Look at him.
Regardless of their income, are entitled to a higher education.
He's nuts.
That is why we're going to make public colleges and universities tuition-free.
Tuition-free college? How's that going to happen? Who's going to pay for all that?
So all student debt in this country.
Who's going to pay for all that? The 1%? The 1%'s going to go another country. They're going to take all their money and leave.
By imposing a modest tax on Wall Street speculation.
Well, It's a stock market. People
12
invest.
years ago, we bailed out the crooks on Wall Street. Now it is their turn to help the working families in this country.
The working families in this country. Why does he give up his major mansions? Why does he give up his 3 mansions? He's talking about the working class.
To end the international embarrassment of the United States of America, our great country, being the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all.
He's going to make it mandatory and you have to pay for it. And if you don't pay for it, you get a huge fine, like they do in our state, the state I'm in.
As clear as I
It's not even health care.
health care is a human right, not a privilege.
No, people should have a choice. You're making it mandatory. You're no different than Obama.
You're going to end the absurd situation in which we now are spending twice as much per person on health care as the people of any other country, yet 87 million of us are uninsured.
Medicare for all.
30,000
Who's going to pay for all that, you
die
dummy?
each year, and 500,000 people go bankrupt because of medically related debt. In America, you should not go bankrupt because you're struggling with cancer.
Who's going to pay for it?
Function of a rational and humane healthcare system is to guarantee healthcare to all, not make $100 billion in profits for the drug companies and the insurance companies.
What they're doing.
Corruption of the pharmaceutical industry.
You are the pharmaceutical industry. You don't want the natural cures. You just want to have more pills.
People will not pay, in some cases, 10 times more.
That's why I don't take the meds.
Prescription drugs sold in Mexico, Canada, or in Europe.
Shut up. Stupid old man.
And when we talk about the major crises facing this country, it is a sad
They just want all free
state of
stuff.
affairs when we have a president of the United States who believes that climate change is a hoax.
It is a hoax.
Well, the scientific community has a slight disagreement with Mr. Trump.
No.
They think that climate change is an existential threat.
That's why the ice caps are growing in Antarctica. Because it's climate change.
Believes in science, not right-wing.
Science means that you don't believe in God. And you're atheist.
We are going to adopt the principles
Look at
of
the
the
school.
Green New Deal.
The Green New Deal done by AOC. Which means Green New Steel. Which means more taxes. Higher utilities. Goes into their pockets. While they're polluting the earth with using jets and using jet fuel. And you can't even drive a car. They're telling you can't drive a car, but they can, and they can fly.
Brothers and sisters, this is
Don't say brothers and sisters, Bernie. You're supposed to say whatever you identify with. Uh-oh, Bernie, you made your first mistake. You should have said whatever you identify with, Bernie.
about issues that must be dealt with. We, in fact, are going to reform a broken and racist criminal justice system.
Racist? Oh, great. It's all equal under the law, dummy.
We do not want to continue.
You're going to be dead before all this comes into play. You're so old. You just want to ruin the country, and you're not even going to be alive to even see the damage you've done. I got another 40 years. I'm not putting up with Bernie Sanders.
Latino and Native American.
What about white? What about white? He doesn't mention white people getting any benefits.
Well, you can create using stone.
God, he's such a racist. Bernie Sanders is a racist.
Yourself first desires artists.
He's a racist. He hates white people. He just admitted it, that he doesn't want white people to have anything. He just said it.
That is why
He wants white people to pay all the bills and for white people to be pushed out of their jobs. And $15 an hour for minimum wage jobs. He's going to destroy all the businesses and stop fracking. There's not going to be anything left. Stupid fools. You're going to lose so hard. You're going to lose so hard, Bernie, it's going to make your head spin. They're not going to give you the nomination because you're too extreme. Go ahead, Bernie supporters. Destroy the whole community. I don't care. When he doesn't get the nomination, you can thank the DNC. And we don't want you either on the Republican side. Because you're completely freaking nuts. No student debt, no student loans, none of that. Who's going to pay for all that? Nothing's free, you stupid fool. What are you, Santa Claus? Santa Claus with an empty Santa Claus bag. Nothing in it. Because you're not going to pay for it. Someone else has to pay for all your ideas. Stop being Santa if you can't pay it out. Give up your 3 houses, Bernie. Give up your 3 mansions. That's what I say. And your little buddy Hillary. She needs to give back that money she stole from the Haitians. Give it back. Because you're all thieves. You all steal from people that support you. You steal their money and you don't reimburse them. You didn't reimburse them when you didn't get the nomination. You didn't give back their money. Bernie. Look at this fool. He's like an angry retard.
together we are going to end the demonization of the undocumented in this country.
Yeah, he wants illegal immigration, all that. He wants open borders. Everybody free Medicare for all, $15 an hour. No white people allowed in jobs, just everybody else. Are you watching the Bernie Sanders thing? The victory speech, I guess, in Nevada? He's so racist. He just said white people suck. And that he wants teachers making $60,000 a year, and he wants only Mexican or black teachers, no white teachers. He just said that. I listened to his mouth. He wants open borders, all that. Medicare for all this. Who's going to pay for all this? Who's voting for this fool? I hope somebody JFK's his ass, because he's a freaking retard. He's not going to get the nomination. He's not going to get the nomination. Do you hear it? Did you watch it? Did you watch everything he said? Did you listen to what he said? He's totally laying his cards on the table. He said he doesn't like white people. He just said it. That white people are not going to benefit from his policies. Yeah, he just admitted it.
By the amount of gun violence and mass killing.
He wants to ban guns.
Our gun safety legislation.
Who's voting for this fool?
By the American people, not the NRA. We will have universal background checks.
There's already enough background checks. There's already enough background checks on guns.
We'll do what the American people want, and that is end the sale and distribution of assault weapons in this country.
Cool.
You know, I am a United States Senator, and I am on the floor of the Senate very often, listening to speeches from Republican conservatives.
Yeah, but did you hear that he doesn't like? Did you hear that he doesn't like white people? He just said it. He just said he doesn't want white people working jobs. He just said it. That white people shouldn't have jobs. That other races should have jobs, but white people.
The facts of the American people understand that it is women who have a right to control their own bodies, not the government.
Plus, he just admitted he's a baby killer. That he wants to increase abortion because they get money off those baby body parts in the blood, so they can sell it to the elites.
I will never nominate anybody to the Supreme Court or the federal bench who is not 100% pro Roe v. Wade.
So he only wants Supreme Court justices that are 100% Roe v. Wade.
And we will significantly expand funding for Planned Parenthood.
He wants to expand funding for Planned Parenthood.
As a United States Senator, I do understand the power of the corporate
Demon.
elite and the 1%.
You are the 1%, Bernie.
They have.
He's the 1%. He's talking about the 1%. He is the 1%. He's a millionaire.
They have literally unlimited amounts of money.
So do you. Unlimited amounts of money. He has unlimited amounts of money. He owns 3 mansions.
Political life of this country.
Oh my God. He's the Antichrist.
The 1% is 1%.
Cool.
I don't have a PhD in mathematics, but I do know that 99% is a heck of a lot bigger number than 1%. So what this campaign is about is understanding that if we do not allow Trump to divide us up by the color of our skin or where we were born or our religion or our sexual orientation, if we stand together, if we get involved in the political process, if we stand for justice, if we stand for compassion, if we understand that we are all in this together, that my family has to care about your family cares about my family. Brothers and sisters, if we stand together, we will not only defeat Trump, we will transform this country and create a government and an economy that works for all of us, not wealthy campaign contributors. Thank you.
What a fool. More government? He wants to create more government. He wants to create more government, they're saying. He just said he wants to increase government. You have to watch the whole thing. It's absolutely nauseating what he just said. He's talking about dividing people by race, that Trump does that. He just did that. He just did it himself. He just said it. That he wanted Mexicans and black people to only have jobs and for white people to not have jobs, basically, to push white people out. And universal background checks. We already have universal background checks. He's stupid. We already have a bunch of regulations, tons of them, and he wants to only have Supreme Court justices that support Planned Parenthood, and he wants to fund Planned Parenthood 100%. He wants to increase abortions and all that. He's an evil. He's totally evil. I can't believe everyone's voting for him. All these people want this fool. He's not going to get it. Because he's talking about the 1%. The 1% are the ones who donate, are donors to the DNC, to the Democrat candidates. Probably they're the ones funding them. So they're not going to let Bernie in. They're not going to do that. They're not going to let him do that. Yeah, he is. He's working for Satan. He wants to kill babies and all that. He's like, Trump is dividing everybody, and he doesn't believe in climate change. Bernie, you're going to burn in hell because you just basically said F you to God. and you're a Jew, and you came from the Holy Land where Jesus lived and where he died, and you just basically took a piss on Jesus. That's what you did by saying you're gonna fund Planned Parenthood, 100%. You just basically peed all over Jesus, all over Jesus. You just did. You just totally dissed our living God. You just totally dissed him when you said those things. I can't believe how stupid people are. And you know what? You could die tomorrow and you could probably burn in hell. He's probably going to burn in hell. Yeah. Like, we didn't know that Bush, he fucked everything up too. With 9/11 and all that, and the weapons of mass destruction, we were totally fooled by all that. Totally, we bought into all that crap. I just can't believe Bernie saying he wants to fund Planned Parenthood, which kills babies and tears them apart while they're alive and keeps them alive temporarily, and they cut them all up and stuff, and they cut their neck open when they're born. Like, the mother decides she doesn't want the baby, so they can kill it up to birth and cut the baby all up while it's still alive and they can feel it. Bernie he needs to go away. Yeah. And to some extent, the the inaction on Trump's part on some of these criminals is very upsetting in itself. That's why I was kind of making this video, because uh, there hasn't been anything done about the censorship on YouTube, where people aren't allowed to say anything, because if they do, they end up losing either subscribers, or they lose views, or they lose their channel. And I just saw YouTube put up an alert about harassment or whatever, or what's considered hate speech on YouTube. They're just cracking down more on people and saying, well, we're going to send YouTube strikes to you, and this is what it's going to look like when you get a YouTube strike, like the new format that it's going to come in. So you have to be on the lookout when you get a message, and it could be from YouTube telling you that you just got a strike. So you got to make sure you follow all their rules and all that. But who doesn't have to follow rules? The lefties don't have to follow any rules. They could put up anything they want as long as it's anti-Republican and anti-Trump. It's just sick. And I think there's going to be some kind of retaliation because of the water that Trump allowed in the state for the farmers, that he released some water. He's going to be releasing water so they can get water, because the Democrats want China to buy California, buy all the land off, and then they control California, as well as the Democrats, because they want communism. And I think that's why what's his name, Putin, is supporting Bernie Sanders, because uh, Russia is communist. So I think they embrace that in a way, even though they don't allow gay parades and stuff in Russia, but they do embrace the communism, the total control over the people. So they do embrace that. And Bernie didn't have nothing to say about it. He's like, well, I'm still going forward with my agenda. Why does he just admit it, that he's a stinking communist? Because he was saying that he wants more non-white people getting jobs, and more government jobs. He said he was going to increase government. That's what he said. And more control, and less, no gun ownership and that kind of thing, and more government. I want to create more government jobs, and I want more non-white people working and getting paid large salaries, and I want $15 an hour. He's so stupid, because it's all going to be automated, and a lot of these companies are going to leave this country, and they're going to go to other countries where there's less regulations. He's just stupid. He's not gonna be happy until we all live in mud huts, and he's gonna end up living in a golden mansion, far away from everybody, where they can't touch him, and he's gonna have armed guards around him, and we're gonna live like, what he's gonna be like? He's gonna be like Kim Jong-un, except a lot older and more senile. That's what's gonna happen, and then we're gonna be the peasants living down in the little cities, and we're gonna be stuck in communist housing, and no one's gonna be allowed to have their own land. That's what I think is the agenda, is to make us all live like worker ants. This is going to be like North Korea, almost. and the leader will be the only one living in luxury. The rest of us will only be given scraps. And that's what I think he wants. And his supporters don't realize that. They think they're just going to get free stuff and that they're going to get $15 an hour or whatever at their job, and that they're going to get paid these large salaries when they get out of school. Who's going to pay for all this for free? They're just stupid. Bernie Sanders is a freaking idiot. But there's people that are stupid enough to believe in his crap. It's like listening to somebody in a loony bin and actually taking seriously what they say. It's just sick. And he's just sitting there at his podium going, ugh, with his arms and stuff. He's an insane person. If Reagan hadn't closed the damn insane asylums down in the 80s, people like him would have been locked up. Or like the AOC, she'd have been locked up too. And Nancy Pelosi, all of them would end up being locked up in a freaking nut house because they're stinking nuts. And we've got people coming onto the Senate floor throwing period blood and stuff. I mean, what is that? Yeah, he is a joker. He's stupid. He's insane. He's a nut. And he's like, here, like the Joker did, throwing, freebies at him. But it's actually not even free. It's not even real money. It's just pieces of paper or whatever. Because he can't guarantee, he's got nothing to back it up. And he's like, yeah, everything's free. You get $15 an hour and all that. He's just a fool. He's just a fool. But you got to watch, college is a scam. What about the trade schools? That fool didn't say anything about trade schools. Nothing. It's like people have to learn a trade. They have to learn a trade because people have to learn how to work on cars and make furniture, all kinds of things. And you don't need a college education to do that. You can go to trade school and learn how to do it. To be a hairstylist, all kinds of things. These jobs are all necessary. They all count. And it's not just people sitting behind a desk playing with computers and doing graphics. Like all these kids nowadays, all they want to do is I want to make video games. I want to create video games. Well, that's not realistic because for the most part, most of you probably aren't going to be have enough smarts to do it. So you might as well go to trade school. If you're only getting C's in school, then you're probably going to have to go to trade school. That's just the reality. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone's going to be a genius, and it's okay if you're not. You know what I mean? I mean, my daughter, she's, working at she's working at a car business and she does the sales floor, but, it's not a great job, but it's better than nothing. So, you get what you get. And I work as a housekeeper and that's it. And I'm okay with it, because I know that's as much as I can do. These Bernie people need to realize that there's no free ride. No free ride. But I am thankful for the two people that are watching, even though YouTube doesn't like my channel. And they erase probably some of the comments I have and stuff, and they keep erasing a lot of my, they call it subscribers. They've been taken down or taken off or whatever. So, yeah, I thought I'd put that Bernie Sanders thing up. It's just really sick. I just can't believe anyone supports that fool. He's not going to get the nomination. I can almost guarantee it. He's not. He's just really stupid. Oh. Yeah, did you see Steven Spielberg's daughter? She's ugly. And now she's a porn star. Dude, she's ugly. She's really ugly. I don't know who would even want to be with her. Plus, Steven Spielberg, they say he raped Carol Ann from Poltergeist. That was the rumor that's why she died, why she bled out or whatever. Or her intestine blew up because she was being raped by Steven Spielberg. And that's, and Corey Feldman's the one that was exposing all that, but then he decided he was going to kind of back off because I think he wants to write a book instead, or he has some kind of movie or something. But it's really annoying because it's like, why doesn't he just say who did it and just go, what's it called? Go where you hide out or whatever. And that's when you testify against the mafia or whatever, and you have to go into hiding. That's what he should do. He should name the people that did those things to him and Corey Haim, and then go into hiding and have the government pay to keep him in hiding. Just expose them. because we all know who it is when he names the name. Everyone's going to know who it is, and they're not going to be able to touch him. So that's what I think he should do. He should just name them already and just be done with it. And that would probably expose most of our politicians too. If he exposed these directors or whatever that molest little kids. You know what I mean? How many kids do you have? I have 4. I have I had one kid 1995, another kid 97, my other kid 2007, and my other kid 2010. My last kid 2010. So I got 4. So I'm all too familiar with kids and babies and kids and all that. So I only got one of my kids living with me now because my oldest 2 are adults. Oh, the Spielberg people. Yeah. I mean, we liked all the movies and everything, but just think of the poor actors and stuff that had to do those movies, and who knows if they were assaulted or whatever by those directors in these movies. You love the movie, but then you find out later, oh God, that's awful. You find out the actor was physically assaulted by the director or whatever. It's disgusting. So it's better to stay out of Hollywood and just work some job and just be a regular person. Life is hard enough, if you know what I mean. Just be happy with what you got. At least you don't have to wipe it off your soul. The worst thing you can say is you're just tired from working. You don't have other things that have happened to you. Because you've heard of actors when they start to wash up and they get older and they're not as desirable, they usually end up spending all their money on drugs or whatever, and they end up poor. Like what happened with MC Hammer. He lost everything and then he had to go live in track housing, and I think it was Tracy or something. Now he's a minister in a church. So you never know. But he probably doesn't have anything on his soul that's bad. It's just whatever. His career fizzled out, and that's how it is. Oh, how old am I? I'm 40, 44, almost 45. I'm going to be 45 on March 6th. So thanks for asking. Yeah, my life isn't that interesting. It's just people tend to bother us a lot. I don't know why people like to bother us, but we like to hide out kind of like moles do. They just stay underground. They only come out when you need something. That's the only time I come out, really. I don't really hang out outside. I try to stay inside because I really don't like where I'm at. Kind of makes me feel like sad because there's really no agenda here. There's not much to do here, so I'm like growing all my vegetables inside of the apartment for now. But I might move them outside, but I'm not sure how that's going to happen because I don't want the cats in the building to get into my stuff. Because cats will do, they'll go to the bathroom in it. Oh, you like to stay inside? Yeah. Because it creates less drama if you just stay inside and you keep the door shut or whatever. The drama tends to stay outside. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Nick got not a new chair, but he got a different chair. His mom brought him another chair because she felt bad about his other chair getting uh, the throw up all over it. She felt really bad. They threw it away. The other chair were throwing it out because it's completely contaminated because it's got all that blood stuff all over it because he threw up blood and the blood got all over the chair, and some of it got on the carpet and everything. Well, thanks for the compliment. Yeah, I feel 40. I'm almost 45, but I already feel 45. I feel like I'm 50 already. So it's just not getting easier. So do you guys have any suggestions on where we could move that's way better than here? Like a job that pays well and housing that's not so freaking expensive. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to pay for gas and all that. I want to just pay for electric because electric's cheaper than gas. Because when you have gas, you have to pay to have it refilled. The tank, they charge you every time they come out to top off the propane tank or whatever. I hate propane because where I live, if you have propane, it's super expensive. So if I move it, it has to be electric only. I don't want propane. So you can probably somewhat understand that. It's super expensive. And then if you don't have enough money to pay it, they'll shut it off or whatever. Yeah, it's so funny. I got 2 pots on top of my counter, which doesn't have any room. And then I got 3 pots on top of my microwave. That's the only room I have. I don't have any other room to put it because if I put it on the floor, the cat will dig in it and he'll go to the bathroom in it because it's dirt. So he'll think it's where he goes to the bathroom, or he'll just hop on top of it and kick out all my soil. So far, he's been pretty good. He hasn't jumped up on there and messed with it because I think he knows better. He knows he's going to get yelled at, so he doesn't jump up there. So, because he knows I'm grouchy, so kind of funny. Ugh, all these stupid pop-ups. Bernie Sanders wins. Nevada. I don't care. You know what I hope he wins? Most senile man of the year and crazy fuck. I hope they give him that award. Biggest loser and cuck. And you know what he's going to do? When he doesn't get the nomination, he's not going to expose the people that took away all his delegates. That's what he's going to do. That's what he's definitely going to do. All he did was expose the future of what these communists want to do. He's not going to get it right now because not right now is not the time for communism. They're going to slowly ease it in once they ban all the guns, but they don't want him exposing all their trade secrets yet because too many people are armed right now. They want to slowly disarm everybody and then bring in communism. So Bernie's spilling the beans, if you know what I mean, too soon because the elites want to get into their bunkers first before they start to turn the country communist. Because once they take the guns away, then they can turn everything communist. And that's just my view. But I think they're just going to give it to Warren or that, what's his name, Mike Bloomberg. They're going to give it to Mike Bloomberg or they're going to give it to Warren because they're the favorites right now because they're towing the line and they are puppets to the corporates. And those are their donors. Where else do you think they're getting all this money to pay for all this campaigning? It's not coming out of their pocket. They can't afford that. They're only getting 100,000 a year. They don't make enough to pay for all this because those other candidates they had to drop out because they ran out of money. So the ones who are paid off by the corporates are the ones who are going to stay in. That's why Hillary was able to stay in because she's got so many donors that are in her back pocket that she does favors for. And she promised them stuff. That's why they gave her all that money. But the other ones, that's why they dropped out. They ran out of money. So that's what I think. And Mike Bloomberg is rich enough to buy his way in. And he's part of the corporates. He's part of that 1% that Bernie talks against. But Bernie, what he's doing, he's just profiting off the insane. And he's just riding it out. And he doesn't care if he gets the nomination because he's going to take the money and run. And then he's going to support whoever the nominee is for Democrat presidential candidate. And the people that support Bernie are going to go crazy and they're probably going to burn and loot stuff and they're going to try to attack people that look like Trump supporters. And he's going to go, well, that's just how it goes. He's not going to condemn it. He's just going to just let it happen. And then he's going to buy himself another huge mansion. And then he's going to go away. And then he's going to be done and retire. And then everyone's going to forget all about it. And he's going to have all that money. Because all these stupid idiots all gave him like $5 a piece. How many times how many supporters he has. And he's going to take the money and run. And he's going to buy another huge mansion. Who wants to bet that he's going to buy another huge house? He's going to find some beautiful spot in this country somewhere and he's going to buy it. He's going to buy the property. He's probably already going to get ready to buy one right now because he's going to drop out in the next 6 months because he's going to do what he did when Hillary took all his delegates. It's hella funny though. You remember when Hillary got the nomination and Bernie gave her the delegates? He had remember he had a cut on his cheek? There was a slice on his cheek, like somebody put a knife up to his face and threatened him. And he gave up the delegates. So she got it. And that's what's going to happen this time too. They're going to threaten Bernie. They're going to give him the same warning. And Bernie, this time, he's not going to care because Bernie's going to get all the money from his supporters, and he's going to back off, and he's going to say, well, I guess that's not what was in the cards. I guess there wasn't enough support for us, but we tried really hard. And then he's going to take the money and he's going to run. He's going to go buy another big mansion and he's going to go away and disappear. That's what he's going to do. And then he's going to, later on, he's going to do little fundraisers and stuff, raising money for whatever, some crazy leftist crap for climate change or whatever. And that's it. But in the meantime, his supporters are probably going to go ape crap and go burn up people's businesses and stuff and go crazy and go attack people that are wearing red hats or whatever they think is a Trump supporter and go attack them. I think that's what's going to happen. Sad to say, but it's true. Yeah, it's mean. It's mean to do that to those people because they give Bernie probably their last $10 before they get paid again at their little job, and they give him their last $10, and their accounts are probably down to nothing, and he takes that money and he keeps it. So when he doesn't get the nomination, he's not going to say, these million people that supported me, I'm gonna write each one of them a check, or I'm gonna electronically reimburse them back into their checking accounts. He's not going to do that. But that if he was a stand-up guy, he would do that. He would instantly refund all their money and say, I'm sorry, and I don't want to see you guys be financially burdened by this. So I'm going to give it back to you so you can, at least buy your top ramen or whatever it is you guys like to eat or whatever, pay your bills or something. Because I can't take your money because I don't need it because I own 3 houses. But he doesn't do that because he's a creep, and he's he's a liar. He's never worked a day in his life. He's never had to sweat and have to clean floors or you know what I mean? Dig ditches. He's never had to do anything his entire life. They said every person he's been married to, he's lived off of them financially. Yeah, he's never had to work. And any man that's a real man would rather work than live off of somebody else because it's not admirable for a man to want to sit on his ass while the woman that he's married to does all the work. They don't want to do that. A real man can't stand that. They'd rather earn it themselves, and they'd rather have their wife stay home and take care of their children and not have her working herself to death and then have him sitting on his rear end. That's just, men don't like that. They don't like the way that feels. It's just not reality. But apparently Bernie has no problem with that. He just takes stuff for free from the women he's married to, or he takes money from donations and he keeps it for himself, and then he keeps spouting out his craziness, and there's people stupid enough to sit there and listen to him talk about free stuff that he can't even pay out. His ass can't cash it. You know what I mean? And look how he dresses, and he's just stupid looking. He's a stupid old man. I mean, what would you say if you saw him? It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah, so Bernie Sanders got 54% in Nevada. So he's beating all of the other candidates for president in Nevada. So he probably figures he's going to get all delegates. Well, fine. But then you're going to cuck out Bern, and you're going to give all your delegates over to either Elizabeth Warren or Mike Bloomberg. Right? Well, that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. And there's not going to be any rain in California for the next week because I looked at the forecast. It's sick. It's almost like it's being done deliberately. Where my state is being deliberately dried out. And Trump's water bill came just in time because the powers that be are drying out the state. Aren't they? They're drying the state out. And I think it's being done, it's like Agenda 21 or whatever. It's to take out the people, and they're going to cause electric storms like these lightning storms are going to come, and there's not going to be rain, and then it's going to start the fires, and the trees that aren't dead are going to catch on fire, and it's going to burn all up, and then it's going to become a mud hole if they do bring the rains in. It's just stupid. It's so predictable. So predictable. Some kind of retaliation is going to happen for the water. How old do you think Bernie is? He's probably like 85. He looks like he's 85. He looks like he's like 95. It's like a crazy old man. It's like somebody just let a crazy man on the stage and let him talk. It's like, we need to get a bunch of free things and lollipops. Yeah, that's what you teach people. Teach them not to work. Teach them not to earn what they have. Teach them that it's all free, right? Everything's freaking free. I wish I could just have him right here on the street right now and yell at him and have him yell at me back and go, you don't understand. You need free childcare. You need to abort your kids. You need to kill all your babies so that way you can get money for the body parts, so that we can feed the demons that drink the blood and eat the body parts, because the demons need little baby hearts and lungs and livers and it's like, what do they do with all these parts? I mean, what do they do with it? What are you gonna do with a baby's tiny little heart? What are you gonna do? It's not even the heart's not even beating anymore. What are you gonna do with it? But we already know what they do with it, and people pay top dollar for that crap. And they go, we don't make profit off the body parts. We just all they do is pay for the shipping. Yeah, but who's buying this stuff? Who's buying all these body parts? That's what I want to know. Who the hell is buying all this stuff? Who is it? But we know the answer to that. So funny. Sanders, butt plug only 8%. He's at the last, and then Warren Biden, and then Bernie Sanders, the top. They're gonna push him out. They're already probably in the makings of pushing him out. So funny. Yeah, he's on meds. Yeah, did you hear about the everyone knows about it, the pigeons in Las Vegas were released that have MAGA hats on? So funny. Yeah, we heard that ICE is cracking down and they're starting to deport people that are here illegally. They're busting all these factories and stuff, especially in this state. This is where they're going to find the jackpot. And the sanctuary state isn't going to matter because ICE overrules the sanctuary state. So I hope that they're actually shipping these people out of here that don't belong here, because we're getting tired of this shit. Look at all these homeless people we have in our state. In my state, I'm sorry, in my state of California, there's all these homeless, and it's because they can't find any work. And I think a lot of them just gave up on looking for work, so they became homeless. And I remember before we became homeless, I was looking for work, and that was during Obama's reign before Trump got in office. And I kept applying at all these places near where we lived, everywhere. And I never got a call back, and I kept reapplying and I kept checking and checking, and no calls, no work, no way to make money. And same thing with my boyfriend. He applied for all kinds of jobs. He tried to get a job in Yosemite um, as a maintenance person, and didn't work out. They just never called him, and he went through all these steps and everything to get it, and they didn't give him a job. And he tried the water district and all that, and yeah, he tried to get a job at TUD, Tuolumne Utility District, it's a water treatment plant, and they discriminated against him because the his boss, the guy that would be his boss, because the owner of the place, or the CEO of the business, liked him and was going to give him a job, but it was up to the foreman whether or not he was going to get the job. So the foreman asked him what high school he went to, and he told him, "Oh, I went to Somerville." And the guy goes, "Well, I went to Sonora High School. We were rivals." And it's like, so who cares? And I think he was jealous because my boyfriend's over 6 feet tall, and the foreman was only like 5 feet, 5'4". So I think he just probably didn't like him, and he didn't like the fact that he went to Somerville. So yeah, he's had a hell of a hard time finding any work, and it's still no good. He tried to get a job in North Dakota, and And then when Obama's regulations kicked in, the EPA regulations, all those people in North Dakota, the Basin, all that, Bakken district, they all got laid off. So it's good we didn't come up there because we were going to take every dime we had and come up there and live out of the back of our car, I guess, for a while until we could find housing because we were so desperate because there wasn't any work. So yeah, and now that Obama's not there anymore, sure, there's the oil fields in North Dakota. I get it, uh, but too afraid to even go out there because it's too much of a risk. Because if Bernie Sanders or some other crazy effer gets in office and they shut down all oil production, we'll be up a creek. We'll be far away from where we lived, where our security is, which is not that much security, but we'd end up in an insecure situation and then be screwed in a frozen tundra. So it's good we didn't make that leap. You know what I mean? It's just we were so desperate. And it's like he's like, yeah, I could get a job on the oil field, and then you could get a job working in a diner. And I'm like, okay, fine. It'll work, right? As long as you can secure a job up there, we can get a house or something right away. They can get you housing with the job. Then I'll work some stupid job, and then we'll be fine. We'll have a roof over our head and security. And then lo and behold, before we decided to make a choice, Obama's EPA regulations came into play, and all those people were laid off. And I remember Sean Hannity back then was bragging about, North Dakota and all these oil jobs and all that, and hopefully it would help some people. And then it turned out Obama, with his EPA regulations, shut it down. And I was just glad we didn't do it. And I was doing all this, looking online about it, reading about it, looking at these job applications for these oil jobs and different jobs and the price of rentals and stuff up there, and looking at the extreme weather. And it's like, oh, it's so freaking cold. And they're like, oh, you're going to have to wear really, really thick clothes to be up there. There's people camping out the Walmart shopping center. People sleeping in their car in the parking lot at Walmart, taking a bath in the bathroom at Walmart. And I'm going, oh God, that's going to be so extreme, but it's worth it because you might find a job. And then it turned out Obama came in and the EPA came in and they shut it down and all those people got laid off. So now I never want to go up there again because what are the chances we're going to get a communist, right? That's going to get in after Trump. Then we're going to get a communist and they're going to shut down all the oil production, all that. And they're probably going to take a wrecking ball to Trump's wall. This is a nightmare. I don't know how we're going to survive it. I don't know how our country is going to survive it. I mean, Trump is only barely holding it back for another 4 years, and then it's all going to come flooding in. All the evil, all of it, it's all going to come flooding in, and it's going to probably shock a lot of people just how evil it really is. And a lot of people like us are going to have to flee and get away from them. Either that or we just submit and just let them completely take over our lives. It'll be the end of the internet. It'll be the end of all of this because it'll all be government programming, and you'll have to be stuck watching that. And you won't be able to talk against your country like in China. You can't talk against your country. You're not even allowed to probably even stream videos, even talking about what goes on in China. And you heard about what happened with that one guy that was in North Korea. I don't know why someone would go to North Korea, but remember, they got him out of there. He was in prison over there because what did he do? He defaced a picture of Kim Jong Un or something in a hotel, and he ended up getting arrested. And they tortured him and stuff for years. And that was during Obama's reign, and Obama never bothered to get him out of there. And then when Trump was president, Trump got him out of there, but the guy was full of worms or something. They did something to him, and his gut was full of worms, and it ended up killing him. And it's just a disgrace. Kim Jong Un is literally a monster. I mean, yeah, we're at bay with him, where he's not going to do any nuclear testing or whatever, building any bombs. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that guy. It's just disgusting. And that's the kind of stuff that Bernie Sanders embraces. They embrace people like Kim Jong Un. They like that. They like that communism. They like communist China. They idolize that way of living. They love that, and they want it here. Yeah, Trump is only going to hold it off for 4 years, and then it's all back. It's all going to come flooding in, and it's probably going to take a lot of people by. It's going to shock people that it's going to come in so quick. It's going to scare them because that's what's going to happen. But they're going to hold off on Bernie Sanders because there's too many people that are armed right now. You know what I mean? No, we're not going to consent. I'd rather be dead. It's like I'd rather be dead than to be homeless. I will never ever live outside again. Ever. I'll build a log cabin in the woods before I'd ever live in the dirt again and live on the ground with bugs. I won't do it. Because if it comes down to that again, I'm building a log cabin because there's plenty of trees, and I'll buy a wood stove and I'll put it in, and we'll find firewood and we'll keep our place warm and find a way to cook, get a butane and a butane thing to cook on top of, and we'll get pots and pans that we already have, and we'll catch whatever we need to eat and whatever canned foods we have. That's what we're going to do. That's what's going to happen probably with a lot of people too. When the communism comes in, people are going to flee and they're not going to consent, and they're going to flee with their guns, with whatever guns they have and their ammunition. People like Ted Nugent are not going to consent. They're not going to consent to that. I'd rather be dead than let somebody control my life. That's why I could never be in a shelter ever again, because I've already been in homeless shelters and you have to totally submit to their rules in order to have a roof over your head. It's such bullshit. Drug testing. It's like, I don't even do drugs. So stupid. And they let the people, certain people, I'm not naming any names, but they get to break all the rules. Certain people are just immune to rules. But just seeing Bernie get the, you know, getting the lead in Nevada, it's very disturbing to see how many people are really stupid. They are killing most animals off. How's that happening? Is it because of the stuff that they're spraying in the air? The chemtrails, it's making the animals die? Yeah, did you hear in China they said they're worried about mad pig disease or something, that they're not allowing the Chinese people to eat pork. So no more raising pork, no more raising pigs or anything, I guess, are allowed in China. So they're trying to starve out their own people when they take away the meat. And the Chinese people, they eat a lot of vegetables more than they do meat. There's very little meat in their food. So I don't see how they're going to survive this if they're going to start cutting out meat out of their diets. You got to have protein. Yeah, chemtrails have killed trees. Animals dying everywhere. We're next. Yeah, like what happened in Paradise, right? Like they sprayed accelerant on all the trees and everything before the fire. And people were saying that people that had smart meters or whatever, that the smart meters started to explode when the fire started, that it started to burn, the house was burning from the inside out, not the other way around. So their houses literally exploded. Yeah, that's what's happening, right? That's why they're spraying us, because they're spraying accelerant on everything. So when they decide to use the lasers, or I've heard people say it, they use lasers or something, and they'll hit a certain spot that they want to hit, and they'll burn it to the ground. And there'll be fatalities or whatever. Some people will be killed because they weren't able to escape, and it'll be burned to the ground all the way down to the porcelain, right? The toilets, everything, the bathtubs, there won't be anything left but dust, which is weird. You have to burn at a really high temperature to burn porcelain. And that's what happened in Paradise. So sad. But I tried to get a property over in Paradise um, for like almost an acre for like $20,000. And they said the payment would only be like $200 a month or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And in the meantime, I could work my little stupid job over here and just make the payment. I own the property. And with $20,000 is all I owe, then I could pay it off really quick. And I can maybe give them a little more so I pay it off quicker. And I contacted the real estate lady, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't tell you, but I know you're not aware of this, but they want cash only." And I'm like, "Who the hell has $20,000 cash? I don't have it." I said, "I'll make the payment. That way I own a piece of property." And they go, well, she's like, "Yeah, I know. And you can't put a modular on the property if it's too close to the main road, and you can't put a septic in and all this blah, blah, blah." And it's like, what? And it's like, because it's the new city ordinances, it's just it's like, well, how are you supposed to have anything in this stupid state? So a lot of these properties, I see it online in Paradise, they're not being sold. They're still vacant. And I think what's going to happen is China's probably going to buy out all that land up there because that stupid governor wants to continue on that railroad that goes nowhere and build it all the way down to, I think it's Fresno or something. That fool wants to build that railroad. And we don't need railroads because if you build railroads, it takes out cars and it makes us have to do mass transit. And then they want to take away fossil fuels. It's just stupid. They just don't want anyone to own any property. And I'm like, telling the real estate lady, I said, "I don't have $20,000 cash. Who the hell has $20,000 cash laying around in their account?" I'll tell you who has it. People in China have $20,000 laying around in their bank account at all times. Not me, but I'll make payments. And I won't even be able to live on the property probably for another 2 years, but it's still mine because I'm making the payments. And I can come up there every once in a while and build on it with the money I have. And it didn't happen. It wasn't going to happen. They say China already owns it. Oh, they already own parts of Paradise. I'm sure they do. It's just not in the media. No one's talking about it. Yeah, just wait for it. You just see the bulldozers coming in, and they're going to start putting stuff in there because it's now their land. Because fucking Newsom is selling all of our land. That's why they won't allow people like us to buy that property cheap. Otherwise, everybody would be able to do it for $200 a month for almost an acre. All you got to do is buy it or do the payment every month, and then eventually you'd own it because you could pay it off real quick. You just give them more money every month; it goes faster. Or you just get another loan from somebody else, and then you could own it outright. You just pay it all off. But they just, cash only right up front. It's like, who the hell has that money up front? Nobody has $20,000 up front. Oh, to log the redwoods. Oh, and for the Freemasons. Yeah, there's some evil going on, and that dam up there, that Orville Dam, it's all dried up. It's all drying up because there hasn't been any rain in like almost a month, seems like. So they're trying to dry us out. So it makes all the trees and stuff all crispy. So when they do the lasers or whatever, those trees will go up like matchsticks. And who knows what county they're going to hit next because they already burned up Paradise. There's nothing left. And like you said, China's already basically bought a lot of the properties. That's probably who's buying them all up. And they won't let people like me buy them because they know we'll build a house on it, and because it's a beautiful piece of land. It's got these beautiful creeks and all that. It's all secluded and nice. You can replant trees and stuff around, put new pine trees in and regrow it back. It'll come back. Nature has a way of doing that. And the fire, obviously, all that soot or whatever is really good for growing. The charcoal, if you till it in, it's really good. It's really good for growing. And it's got plenty of sunlight now. There's no trees, so you could probably have a nice garden too. But they took that away, so I gave up on that. I'm like, well, that ain't gonna happen. Well, onto the houses that are like $1 million for a 2-bedroom. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Oh yeah, he's a spoiled brat. Yeah, you heard that he said for the homeless, he said when they go to the doctor and the doctor can give them a prescription for housing, but he has no explanation of how he's going to pay for it. Who's going to pay for the housing for them? Because when I was homeless, no doctor gave me a prescription for housing Because they didn't give a shit. It's not their problem. Oh yeah, they didn't work on the dam. I bet if it started to rain right now and it started to flood, that thing would split open like a potato. And I'm not talking about my neighbor. Oh yeah, that thing would pop, that thing would spill over and flood the whole Central Valley, take out the whole Central Valley and all the crops, all that would be washed out. But you know what? People that are Republican probably would be happy, right? They'd be like, yeah, get rid of all the Democrats. But you know what? There's Republicans in the flood zone too, you know? So you got to consider that too. There's people that support Republican values that live in the state, and I'm one of them. No, they don't care. Yeah, they just want to fine you for not having health care in the state. So just think of all the people that didn't buy the health care this year. They have to pay that fine. I think they said next tax season they're going to get fined for not having health care. So he's keeping Obamacare in place because somehow they keep embracing Obama and his retarded policies that don't work. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. That kind of crap. And Bernie talking about we want affordable uh, prescriptions. Trump's already working on that, you retard. He's making more competition, have to lower the drug prices. If there's more competition, then they have to lower it. Trump's already working on that, you DEM, Yeah, he's already working on that, on the making the pharmaceuticals more affordable for people. More competition for the pharmaceuticals, the more they have to lower the prices because they have to compete with other companies. So Trump's already doing that. Bernie's just lying through his teeth. They never wanted to have affordable health care for anyone. It's all marked up crap. And if you get the bare bones stuff, guess what? You get like a you get like a somebody from the Appalachian or whatever from down south, South America. That's what you get from for a doctor, like a witch doctor. That's what you get. That's what they're talking about. Or you just all you get is a an inexperienced nurse practitioner who doesn't know anything. That's your doctor, and they can't do anything for you because they're not familiar with the viruses or problems that people have. Like when I went to the doctor before, it's all nurse practitioners, and they don't know anything about RA. They're like, I don't know much about it. Like, and they're looking at a medical book. It's like, it's all right. Don't worry about it. I know more about it than you do because I've had it longer than you've actually thought about it. It's no offense, but nurse practitioners aren't real doctors. And that's what we have right now. It's just nurse practitioners. But Trump is trying to fix the healthcare system, but they're not letting him because it's on the House floor, the bills, and they will not pass them to go to the Senate. And we don't even know what's in the bills because they're not passing it through the House so we can see it. Obviously, you can't reveal it until it's passed in the House. Then once the Senate passes it, which will pass easily because we have a Republican majority, then we can see the bill and it gives you choice too. If you don't want to sign up for health care, you don't have to. But if you want the health care, you can pick what you want. That's what the president's trying to do. And that's what the Democrats don't like. They don't want you to have a choice. They want you to have government health care, what they tell you to have, and you have to have it, or they're going to fine you. Yeah, people need to get off pharmaceuticals. You're right. I don't take any medicine for my condition. I just deal with it. And it seems to be okay for the most part. I mean, I do have damage from my RA, like swelling and stuff, but it's manageable. I can do it. I just don't like being on medication because those things cause cancer and stuff. Like that's what I've heard. The methotrexate and all that for the RA, it can cause cancer to form and also ulcers in your stomach. Yeah. Yeah, they tell you, oh, if you get sick from the medication, either they change the medication or if they changed it a bunch of times already and there's no other options, they just start you over with what you just started with in the beginning that bothered you, Or they tell you just keep taking it anyway, even if it's making you sick. Just take it anyway. Just take it anyway. That's what they told me. They're like, just keep taking it. It's like, yeah, but it's making me sick. I'm actually puking all the time and stuff. And I still feel pain. I still feel the inflammation and the pain. Even with the medicine, I'm still feeling pain. They're like, just keep taking it. Well, it's not doing any good. Yeah, that's the whole idea. In the 6 months that I did take it, it made no difference because I still have, what do you call that, flare-ups. They still have flare-ups. So obviously it didn't do anything to stop it. They don't want it to stop. They want it to keep going so that it never ends. That's why there's people that take the medicine for the RA, and they keep having symptoms 30 plus years later. They're still suffering, and they're still having deformities in their joints, and they're still popping the pills like the doctor says, and it's not stopping it. They're still suffering. So they're doing the CBD oil, all that stuff, and they're still trying to take care of it, and they can't. It's not going away. So I figure, you know what? I'm not going to take poison when it's not going to do me any good. It's just going to create more symptoms on top of what I already suffer with. And when I have flare ups, I have flare ups, but there's days where I don't have any, where there's nothing and I'm totally fine. I can walk, I can move, everything. And then another day, it's different. It's I can make it. Oh, copper. Oh yeah, they have those copper bracelets you can put on. I used to have one a long time ago. It's really good, I guess, the copper to get it into your system. And it's really good to cook in cast iron. They say it gives you extra iron in your blood. Yeah, we got a long way off with these damn Democrats. It's going to get more interesting. Yeah, he finally said no more pharmaceuticals. When I was 30, they had me try everything. Yep. That's when I go to the doctor because all they're going to do is want to talk about my arthritis, and I don't care about it. I mean, I care about it, but I don't care about it. I don't want to give it that kind of power. It doesn't deserve that kind of attention, so I don't give it any attention. Because I don't want to hear people fear mongering and making me feel guilty about not taking the medicine. And you watching the videos about people that have arthritis or RA or whatever, and you see the terrible photos and stuff, and oh God, I got to take that poison because look what's going to happen to me. This is what my hands and feet are going to look like. My knees are going to be stuff. And you watch that and it scares the crap out of you. Then you take the medicine and you still suffer with the problems. And then you find out later that there's people that have been taking the medicine for 30 plus years and they still have deformities. Their knuckles and all that are still swelled up, and their knees are swelled up, and their ankles and everything are still screwed up, even with the medicine. And they're on like Vicodin and stuff, and it doesn't seem to make any difference. It's just, oh, yours went into remission for 14 years and then came back with a vengeance. Oh, yeah, I've had mine since 2008. It's now going on 12 years. So that's kind of what happened with my mom when she had it. She had it for a long time and then it went into remission and it came back. Yeah. Yeah, my mom, she does infusions or whatever. She goes to the doctor and she has these infusions done because she has really bad flare-ups where she's all stiff and all that. She can't close her hands. So, yeah, she does the infusions, but I don't do it, but she does, and we're suffering with the same disease. But she's scared because she doesn't want to lose her mobility, I guess, with her hands and stuff. So she does the infusions like the doctor says, because they said the infusions are better because it goes directly into your system rather than just taking the pills. The pills take longer for it to go into your system, but I choose not to. And it's my life and it's my funeral. Well, it won't be, but because I'm not negative like that. I've never heard of it killing anybody. Not, I mean, not documented cases of it. I think it's pretty rare that it would actually do that to somebody. It's pretty rare because it's not like a life and death disease. It's just annoying and it flares up and it makes you stiff and all that. And I've already had the worst of it. It's already completely destroyed both my knees. And I've gotten through the worst of the pain of it to where they're already messed up. There's no cartilage left on my knees. They're totally shot. And there was a time when they were all swelled up and I wouldn't wear shorts because they were like all like huge, big. It looked like somebody hit me in the knees with a baseball bat. They were so swelled up. Couldn't even see the kneecap. It was just so swelled up. And I finally went to the doctor and they drained all the fluid out. And it got smaller and it started to look somewhat normal, but it really hurt though. That sucker was painful. But I finally got to a point where it doesn't hurt as much as it used to. So it's probably we get close to that remission stage where it's maybe might go away. I don't know. I don't know. And then when it finally does go away, that's when Kim Jong-un's gonna drop the nuke on us, right? The nuclear bomb. He's gonna destroy us all, right? Because he doesn't want to feed his people any food. Oh, infusions. It's for my mom's rheumatoid arthritis. It's like Enbrel or something. I'm not sure. Oh, my hands are half closed, can't fully open. Oh, so they're like kind of like this. They're like a claw, kind of. Like you can't make them straight to stay open. So you must have a hell of a time typing and stuff. If your hands are kind of like this. And it probably makes it hard to, if you have your phone, it's probably really hard to keep your hand on your phone so you don't drop it. So you probably have like a little grip thing on there so you can keep it on your hands so you don't drop it on the floor and break it. Yeah, my dad has that, not from arthritis, but when he was little, he put his hands in a car door and his brother shut the door, slammed the door on it and broke his fingers and they stayed there like this. And when he was a little kid, the doctor decided to not fix it, so they just left it like that, permanently like that, broken. I sew crochet card making because someday I may not be able to. Yeah, it sucks that your hands are like this. Well, I don't know exactly how they look, but so you crochet, huh? Because you're not going to let it defeat you. You can't. You can't let it stop you from doing what you want to do. You can't, because it'll defeat you and it'll make you feel hopeless. You know what you do? You just push through the pain. Just keep going. And there's only so much ibuprofen and stuff you can pop. You know what I do? I like to soak my joints in hot water. I really love heat. Right now I have my heating pad. I put it on my knees and I have it on my lap so long that I actually have like these burn marks on my thighs because I'm so used to having this heat on me. Sometimes I forget it's on me. I'm like, ah, shit, and I throw it off. I'm like, oh. I stick it on my knees and I stick it on my lap, or I put it under my hand. I put my hands underneath it, under the heating pad, and it helps a little bit. Even though you're not supposed to put heat on it, you're supposed to put it cold. But I hate cold. Do you have a heating pad, or do you use cold? Do you put cold on it instead of heat? Some people prefer cold on an aching joint. They'll put cold on it because it feels better. But I like to put heat on it. I don't like being cold because it makes my bones feel like they're locking up, like they're getting really stiff. Yeah, me too. I just got a not crocheting, but I got a I got another sewing machine because my other sewing machine it was missing a part and I just don't have the patience to try to figure out how to fix it. So I just bought another sewing machine and I sewed a couple of stitches, and I was so happy I was able to make a stitch that was tight, a tight stitch where I could back pedal on it and it would reinforce the stitches. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy. I know it's so funny to be happy about something like that, but it made me really happy to be able to sew, and it actually is a good stitch. It's really nice. And then it kind of inspires you when all your stuff works, like all your little knickknacks and things that you have around you, it all works good. Even if your body's not cooperating, you're like, I'm not gonna let it stop me. I'm not gonna let it stop me from doing things that I enjoy. Just what I do is I like to soak my joints. If they hurt, just soak them in hot water. You have a foot bath. Sometimes I use a foot bath. Oh, see you later, Linda. Thank you for watching. It's kind of an oddball live stream, but I am an oddball. So take care, all right? Thank you for watching. Even if I don't have a large audience, it's way better than a no audience. Oh, you're lucky. You have a tub that's got a jet in it. That's cool. I wish I had one of those. I don't like to use my bathroom right now because it's really gross. Because I have all that leakage coming out of my ceiling, so I can't really use the bathroom too much. I just use it to go to the bathroom, wash my hands, and take a shower. I don't like to hang out there too much. Yeah, bathrooms are so important. Well, take care, Linda, and I'll probably talk to you. We'll talk to you later. Yeah, I do want to make stuff. I just haven't been able to focus. But it was nice though, because I've been discouraged that Nick's parents brought him another chair. They bought him a chair from a secondhand store, and we're gonna throw away the other chair, so that was nice of them to do that. So he has something clean to sit on that doesn't have a bunch of just because he threw up on it, it's really gross. So yeah, it's nice that he's got at least something clean to sit on. So because he doesn't want to be reminded of what happened, it's terrible. And the next thing we got to deal with is his doctor's appointments and all that, and we got to get our ceiling fixed in the bathroom. Okay, we do not consent. So if you wanna drop off, it's okay. You got to go to work tomorrow. That's fine. But I appreciate you watching. And all I can say is hopefully Bernie Sanders doesn't get the nomination. If he does, we're in a world of hurt. Big time. People like us are screwed. Because if you like to live an independent life and have your own things and not have the government interfering in things that you do, you don't want Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is going to be all up in your business, and I don't want any more government interference than what we already have. I don't want any more. The government we have right now is fine. Let's not increase the government. Just only when there's emergencies, we need the government to help us, and that's it. But other than that, we're fine. We are pretty self-sufficient people. Well, yeah, we do not consent. If you want to, you can drop off now so you can chill out and get ready for your job tomorrow. It's probably not good for you to stay up because you have arthritis and all that. So, I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay? Just have a nice night. So I'm signing off, okay? Take care. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the idea. Yeah. All right. Good night. Take care. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.